Welcome back, everybody, to Two Guys, Three Crowns, the podcast about what it's really like to live in Stockholm, Sweden. Join me, Sean, and my fellow American Rodney as we explore the good, the bad, and the just plain weird. Voy a reír, voy a bailar, vivir mi vida, la 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 la. Voy a reír, voy a gozar, vivir mi vida, la 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 la. Oh!
Nice.
I am freshly back from a work retreat to Barcelona, and I needed it, baby. I needed to refresh my Spanish.
This is a little bit about what I was telling you as far as like where it goes, like company retreats. Company retreats could be like everybody hooks up at a hamburger place, maybe 10 people, but that's not really what you're talking about here. The scope, size, and scale of this is...
Yeah, so apparently they've had their eye on this place for quite a while, and they haven't been able to do a big retreat because of COVID for the last couple of years. So they've been like, I guess the CMO and the CEO were like, who were the main founders of the company, have been like, had this, the itch building up. We're doing it, baby.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was quite generous, quite generous. And it was one of those things like every person in that company went away to adult summer camp for 4 days.
Ooh.
And like, I mean, the bonding experiences that happened across teams of like people that you didn't know, and like my whole situation. So all the Boston people are like, "Oh my God, we get to know you now!" Oh. Yeah, it was wild. It was honestly,
like, hey, at least for a little while, you'll be able to know me for a little while.
Yeah, it was like a summer camp for 4 days, and then we went to the last day. We were at the Hilton in Barcelona, which is like, I don't know, you can walk to the beach from there. It's in like the middle of town, and the town is right on the beach. So I elected to pay 90 euros for a massage. I'm like, I need this right now. I'll see all you people later. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's such a good idea. Yeah. And then I emerged later and they're like, oh, you missed the beach. I'm like, I wouldn't say I missed it.
No.
But yeah, it was amazing because it was like one of these, the pool deck was on like the second or third floor or something like this. Okay. So it was kind of like where, like our place back home in Miami, where it's like you're on top of the parking garage. So you can see the city, and then you have like the towers of, in that case, it was like the hotel on either side of you, like all the rooms and everything going up. Oh. But yeah, it kind of felt like home. I'm like, hey, people, you ready to come to the Miami office yet?
Yeah. And the weather was
the weather was fantastic. There was the day, so Saturday was like the big party day, like the big gala that everyone brought their nice clothes and all that kind of thing. And then word on the street is there were some people going on till like 6 or 7 in the morning, but then there were activities the next day. You know how it is. You know how it goes. Yeah.
Yes.
They throw down hard. So I didn't make it that long, but yeah, it was.
Sean, come on. You got it. How long?
Hey man, in a tech scale up, it's like they got like kids who are like 25 years old. I'm like, I'm not keeping up with them. I don't care. I'm going to bed, bro. I don't have Dylan around right now. I can sleep till like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, what time did you make it till? What time did you hang in there?
The big night, I made it till like 3, and the night after Sunday night, I made it till 1. So I think that's pretty respectful. Like post midnight, 2 days in a row. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think I've done 3 a.m. on purpose in a long time. So I'm gonna give you the big thumbs up for the 3 a.m.
Yeah, I hung in there, but I was like, man, it's getting to that point of the night where problems start happening. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't need those kind of problems in my life. Yeah. Peace out. A-town down.
The whole bonding experience stuff starts happening after.
Yeah, I don't need that much bonding in my life. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
But yeah, super nice. I mean, it was so nice to be like in temperatures that warm. And then we came home on because it was almost a completely chartered flight, except for like, I don't know, 5 people on the way back. On the way in, it was like 2 people apparently
Right.
that, or we had the whole flight. But yeah, then we get in super late. Everyone gets home. They find their way to go home. I took a cab straight from the airport. I'm like, I'm not waiting for the company bus to like wait for
Right.
45 people to get on there. And then I wake up today and I'm like, why is it so dark in this room? And my alarm is going off at 7 and 7:30. It feels like it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And I peek out through the curtains and it's just a deluge of clouds and water. I'm like, what in the world is this?
Yes.
This is like November rain, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have definitely reached. Well, first of all, I'm glad that because I know that the retreat was timing wise with everything else that you have going on was like a little bit of
And Croatia right before it. I'm like, yeah.
Like, okay, I'll go ahead and do this. I'm a team player, but
Well, it's
I'm
like
glad that you
nice, but
had.
yeah, there is that element of it. Like,
Right.
there's so much other work that I could be getting done right now for my own personal life that is like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you feel guilty the whole time. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Guilty. And that massage, you were like, oh man.
No, I didn't feel guilty at all during that. I'm like, I paid for this one.
Oh yeah. Good. But yes, we have reached that point, and I thought that when we woke up this morning, and I kind of looked out the window, and I was like, oh, are we really at that point?
We're
of the
not,
year?
though.
And
We're not. It's September 13th when we're recording this.
but it already feels horrible. It was like
does.
already.
It's like it's too advanced this year. It's
I mean, I woke up devoid of any energy. I mean, it wasn't,
You're telling
it's
me
not
I've
like
been
a-
awake till 3 o'clock in the morning every day. I'm like, this is a 4 coffee alarm fire over here.
I mean, it's not like I'm doing backflips out of bed during the summer, but this time of year is just like, it's like the head. It's like the head down, the down, and put on a cup of Joe and a little bit of of food, and it's like, okay, bye. But I got to work, and as we're eating lunch, everybody kind of chimes in. It's me and the 3 gentlemen that I work with, and everybody's like, man, I just feel really, and I was like, hey, this is just gonna snowball. I was like, we need to, come on guys.
We don't talk about Fight Club.
Right. We can pull ourselves out of this. Hand me the McNuggets.
With the honey mustard.
You're
Gotta
right.
have that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to get in shape now. Yeah.
I know. It's brutal out there right now. Hey, speaking of nom nom nom, before we really get into it, I have 2 special requests from a supposed listener whenever we're on Instagram, who's not really a listener, but he kind of is. He always asks for Rodney.
Oh.
Or more like Rogeny.
Ah.
I'm like, oh, you mean Uncle Rodney? Yeah, Rogeny.
Yeah, that's the yes.
So Dylan has very specifically requested me to bring up that he's going on to a plane to Miami, and it's going to go. And now he only uses the big boy potty. So those are the updates from Dylan, specifically to save the show.
Yes. Well, you tell him I said congratulations on both the plane and the big boy potty.
You heard it here, Dylan. Congratulations.
This is it. Congratulations, Dylan. Yes.
Because he knew, like, now that I'm back from Barcelona, and not just like, okay, I have a dinner this night. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I get that. I kind of expected that. But then I'm telling Dylan, it's boys' night. We're going to do just you and I, the bath and the bed. And Mamai is out doing her events.
Right.
And you've had her for the past couple days. But we have to go on time because I have to talk to Tio Rodney, Rogeny,
yes.
And he's like, okay, Dada, you say.
Yeah.
Me go
Okay.
plane to Miami, and
Yeah.
I know go on Pinico, like the little
The
one that sits on the
little
floor, the
the porta.
baby
Right.
Buren one that sits on the floor. I go
Yeah.
this one. I go the big one.
Okay.
And
Props.
then he gave way more details than we need to discuss on the podcast.
Okay.
Way
Okay.
more
More
details
detail.
about
Okay.
sizes and colors. And we're just like, okay, we'll
Okay.
put that in the notes.
Okay. Right on. Hey, because he had bath time, right?
Yes.
Before we did the show. How are like bath times going? Is it,
Bro, let me tell you, we graduated him out of the baby bath finally because he was barely fitting and there's no way it was
right.
comfortable. And he always sat for, I don't know, years until
Yeah.
we got, I mean, he's only 3, but it must have been
Right.
ever since he hit 1, he would sit in it backwards. So he wouldn't lay kind of like
Oh,
with the
o-
arc, the
okay.
ramp. He would
Right.
sit backwards so his feet faced the ramp. But
Okay.
then he's got like the little hump thing to catch his butt
Yeah.
right in that kind of a sensitive area for
Right,
guys,
right,
if you know
right.
what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So then we finally transitioned him out to like the big bathtub. And then,
Okay.
on a good night, then we'll put like a little extra soap in, make bubble bath and all that.
Right.
And then we just sold the crib the other day too. So now he's
Mm.
sleeping. The person who bought it, they didn't want the mattress inside, which, okay,
Okay.
that's fine because another kid's been sleeping on it. I can get that. You want like a fresh mattress for it's
Sure.
an IKEA
Sure.
mattress. So whatever,
Right.
that's fine. I get that. So we've been using that just straight on the floor with like a bunch of pillows around it. So now that's
Okay.
his temporary big boy bed.
So he's got like a college groove going on. He's
Oh,
like
yeah.
mattress directly on the floor, got some pillows.
Exactly. I'm like, wait
Okay.
till you understand that's going to come right back to you in 18
Uh-huh.
years.
Yes. Now,
And your
have
fridge
you?
is going to be full of ketchup packets and mustard and probably a couple Taco Bell hot sauces, but in little tiny packets.
Exactly. Fire sauce.
Yes. Yes.
Fire sauce. Yeah, that is. Has he ever? Have you ever given him a bath in the sink?
No, but I have given him a bath in a salad spinner.
Okay, so it's kind of it's like a wash and dry. It's like a wash and dry. It's like a little
So,
sit
like
and
a salad
spin.
spinner, like it's this big plastic
Yes.
bowl and this
Right.
mesh plastic
Yeah, with
thing that
the
goes inside, and you put the lid on. Yeah, you
yeah.
pull the string and it zoom,
Yeah.
zoom, zoom,
Right,
zoom.
right, right.
So we
Yeah.
took out all that stuff, and that was his bath for like the first week because he was
Okay.
so tiny that he fit it in a salad spinner.
Okay. Okay.
Because the in-laws were here and they're cooking all the time, and I'm like, I don't need breadcrumbs on my newborn son. You know what I mean? That's like
Right.
the sink was just overflowing with food all the time
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
dirty
yeah, yeah.
dishes. There was no way to do
Right.
that thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, he bathed in a salad spinner,
Okay.
but it was real easy to dry him off.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, just a couple and he enjoyed that. It was like Gröna Lund inside the sink.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And the reason I brought it up is as I was going through my old picture archive, like a week ago, I came across some pictures of when we still lived back in the States. We lived in the Bay Area, and Veronica was 1 when we moved. And I found pictures of her. We gave her baths like in the kitchen sink, which is.
I mean, I have pictures of me in the kitchen sink. That's what you do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But we had a salad spinner that had gone through
Yeah,
the dishwasher, so we knew it was hyper clean.
Salad spinner was very. That's a very creative. That's a very.
But then he got
creative-
so big, and it had this like weird point in the bottom where it's like,
Yes,
that
where
can't be
the thing
comfortable for
spins
you.
on.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
and then he didn't want to change, and I'm like, no, you want to change. Trust me, you don't need this point on your butt. Like,
Yeah.
it's not comfortable.
No, I'm telling you, that thing. Whenever I sit in the salad bowl with the spinner going, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, that foot is just not comfortable.
Yeah. Now Veronica took bath. We used to give her baths in the kitchen sink, and she was like a climber. She climbed on everything. So whenever Lena or I would do the dishes, when the front of the dishwasher was open, she would just start climbing. She was just up, like on the yeah. But
Thank God
I
we
mean,
didn't have to go through that. Now all I have to deal with climbing is when I drop Dylan off at the preschool at First Schola, he
right.
knows to like start grabbing around my collar with
Hmm.
like that baby death grip thing where they like
Right.
lock their knuckles.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
then he can like fold himself in half and catch the heels on the fence. And he knows like I can't like he grabs so hard I can't fully extend my arms, but he's still got a
Right.
way to like hook the foot on all the little pieces going down. And so I have to get another adult. All the like the teachers know now, like the
Yeah,
adults at the first schola, they know that they need like an assistant to come over when I'm dropping them off because he's literally like folded in half. You
yeah,
can't
yeah.
believe how long toddlers are when they're completely folded in half. And I'm
Right.
like, aren't my arms longer than your feet? What is
Yeah.
going on with
Yeah,
this?
how is this even possible?
Yeah. And then
When
he
you have like
starts
a
grabbing jewelry on the last end. So now I'm like,
oh
okay, can't
no.
drop him off with a watch, no wedding rings, no.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And you got like a line of parents just kind of standing there. You're wondering, I wonder why those guys are
Oh
standing there
man,
and,
that was
and
like
waiting.
year one when like you think all the other parents are looking at you like, oh, what did
Right.
you do to your child? Now it's just like, hey, that's going to be you tomorrow. You better watch out. Don't bring that upon yourself. Hey, you're bringing bad voodoo.
Be like, hey, what's up with your son's hair? And be like, it's the salad spinner. It's the salad spinner. One too many rotations on the salad spinner.
Or one not enough.
Exactly. Exactly. So we had a little bit of a mini road trip adventure this past, it was like Saturday.
Ooh.
And it was a long overdue open house at Adrian's military base.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah, so north of the city, up in Kungsängen. And due to COVID, this is the first open house that they've had in a while. So the first year when he was there, we had hoped to go to the open house, and then, it didn't happen. And then the following year, it also got, so this is the first time that they've had
Right.
an open house there. Now, the weekend before, they had it at the Swedish like Air Force base up in Uppsala. And it's the first time that they had it. But now you're talking airplanes and helicopters and flying stuff, right? So it's over 20,000 people there.
Yeah.
With cars. It was
Because it's a
taking
show,
people-
right?
Yeah. And it was, so there weren't that many. I think there were like 5,000 people was the final count up here, which is still a good turnout.
Yeah. No, because
but
I
it was-
remember in Philadelphia, we had a naval air base near us, and every summer they would do the big air show of like
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
people, like they sit around all year because like, what are you going to do in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania? Just like sitting, like waiting to drive that Porsche of a airplane. Like,
Right.
we're going to crank the speed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the same thing. We had actually talked about it and kind of planned on going. And then we thought twice about it. We were like, getting up there and then getting home. And, there were
Yeah,
some other
true.
things
That's a
going
long
on.
drive for you guys.
But then we found out afterwards that there were some people, it took them like 6-7 hours to like get out of the parking and like, so the gridlock after that thing was just traumatic.
Nope.
But one of the highlights back in the Bay Area for me was always the Blue Angels.
Oh, yeah.
So when the Blue Angels came to town for Fleet Week, and you see them fly under the Golden Gate Bridge,
Yeah,
and
for
just
sure.
this, So I definitely would have liked to have gone to Uppsala, but we had a fantastic day on Saturday. Veronica was with us, so it was all four of us. And Adrian had the chance to walk us around the base and like point out different buildings and different
Cool.
things that that he had talked about before, but this kind of put it in a a different perspective. They had a bunch of different stations where you could test stuff and try stuff out. They had like a weapons table that was kind of
What?
well, they had a weapons table with all of the weapons.
Is this Texas or Sweden?
No, it's Sweden, but it was, and I was kind of,
Here's an M16. Go try it out.
well, I mean, those things were, they had those little safety leash things on them. So you couldn't just, grab the bazooka and like run. And that also happened to be the same place where the military police were set up. So the military police were definitely a presence.
But there was like legit firearms there.
Yeah, I mean, super duper unloaded, but yeah. So you got to feel
But they
the
let you
weight.
hold them. That's pretty badass.
You got to feel the weight of the
Yeah,
weapons
because that stuff
and
is heavy as hell.
everything.
Yeah.
That's the one thing the one main thing that I left there with is everything is heavy.
Yeah.
We got to try on body armor. We went up to an area.
I mean,
and
that's like
think that
20, 30 pounds right there, right?
it's 15 kilos.
Yeah.
I think is what
Yeah,
the body
20, 30
armor.
pounds.
And you, and you put that thing on, and it was just like, oh my gosh.
That's why you got to do basic training, because you're carrying like 100 pounds at least in like basic normal stuff, not counting the weapons.
Right. I didn't try them, but Lena and Veronica tried like the full loaded backpacks. Ooh. So like backpacks, you have one on the front, and depending upon where you're traveling to, there's also one that you put on, you wear on the front.
Yep.
That's almost the same size, if not the same size as the one in the back. Plus you have another one that yeah, I couldn't do that one. I was still trying to recover from the 15 kilo, other stuff.
It's like, I'm going to need another kebab roll.
Exactly. Where were those free hot dogs at? But there were like medical tents, and all. It was a really nice setup. We also went and tested out a transportation vehicle, and I don't know exactly what it is, but it's one of the.
They're
armored
not made for
transportation.
comfort.
No, or tall people.
Wait, even the Swedish ones?
Or people that like, hey, and there were a lot of tall soldiers there. We always thought that Adrian was like, super tall, but we were surprised at how many other tall soldiers, tall
that's
guys
like professional athletes. If you go to like an NFL training camp, you realize just how monstrous those athletes are. You're just like, holy boop.
Or going to a basketball game.
Yeah.
You go to a basketball game and find out, okay, this is where all the tall people hang out.
Well, also too, on television, they look like all tall and lanky, and then you get up close to them and you see they're just like
how big
ripped muscle everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah. But we did this transportation vehicle. We waited in line for a while. You had to wear a helmet. You had to put in earplugs and put on a helmet.
So there's a cannon.
Yet another piece of equipment that was a lot heavier than I expected. The helmet. I put the helmet on, and I'm like, wait a minute. You combine all of this stuff, and
you're walking through. Anytime during summer, you're losing weight of water, of sweat.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine the calories these people have to be ingesting all the time. It's craziness. Yeah.
But it was fun, and we drove this vehicle. They did some type of loop, but since there's no windows and there really wasn't a screen per se to look at, it was just basically shut into this vehicle, and they went around, came back, dropped us off, and it was like, oh, okay.
Rodney's in the back going like, hey, can we turn the AC on or open a window? And like, no. Okay. Mahalo. Mahalo.
Stop. Yeah. Put your hands down. One thing that I was anticipating that didn't happen was I packed both of my passports. I brought both of my passports. I'm thinking, because you had to go through a security check.
Oh, jeez.
To get,
You were staying in Sweden. Why did you have passports?
Yeah. No, but I'm thinking, onto the military base. You had to go through, they check through bags and, things to make sure that I guess you weren't bringing all kinds of unnecessary stuff in there. But I had both of my passports. I'm thinking, great, what if they want to see proof of identity? I get to whip out whip out both of my passports.
Which one do you want? Like, Rodney, you don't show both at the same time. Not a good idea.
So they didn't ask me for my ID, but as the guy was kind of looking through my little mini bag that I had, I was like, oh yeah, that would be my Swedish passport right there. The new one, that one right there, the burgundy.
You want to take it out? You want to look at it? It's shiny. It's still got that new passport smell.
Right. Okay. You don't have time to look. Okay. You don't have time to look at it. Okay. Maybe I'll show you on the way out. Maybe I'll show you on the way out.
You want it? Can you stamp it saying just like, yeah.
Can you just write? Would you mind signing my passport? That's gonna
take a whole page. Yeah,
that's gonna be my.
Because I have like 8 of them. No, actually, I don't have 8 of them. Just the one.
Ah. Yeah, so that was a really good day, and we had a lot of fun going and doing that.
Nice. Super nice.
Yes, yes. Avocado. I'm just going to stick this one in there
I
in case.
love Rodney's transitions all the time. I
Just
knew a solid one was coming up, and
yeah,
he did
yeah.
not disappoint.
Well, I'm thinking, passports,
Avocado.
avocados, avocados. I'm thinking, passports start with P, avocados.
Start with A.
Anyway, where I'm. Yeah. Bought an avocado the other now. I mean, we eat avocados. We like avocados. I buy avocados. Bought an avocado maybe 4 days ago. Forgot about it. Put it in the window, and I'm like, oh, I'll just let it do
As
its.
one does. You just stick it in a window.
The avocado thing, and I saw it
In
yesterday.
the paper bag or just sitting in the windowsill?
No, just in the window, waving at people.
It might have been irradiated. Just
But
warning you.
but we had some taco leftovers yesterday, and as I'm putting together some little tacos for lunch, I spy with my little eye the avocado in the window. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll just take that and test it, and whatever happens, happens. It was probably the most perfect, bestest avocado I've had. I'm not going to say ever, but probably in years. And people that know what you go through, the disappointment of buying avocados and either having brown spots or partial this or soft that or overripe or not ripe enough, or this thing was just amazing. And I loved it. Half of it went on the tacos. The other half I just ate. And I wanted to share that with everybody out there to make sure that you hopefully also get a fantastic avocado soon.
See, that's the thing. There's no scientific measurement of how long it stayed in the window, what direction the sun is coming in from. It's just like
No.
it sat in the window and it was the
I'm
best
never gonna,
avocado ever.
and I
There's
can't
no way
even
to repeat that.
I can't even remember when I bought it, so it's a one-off. It's
Or
like
where
I'm
you
not
bought it
gonna
from.
where. Yeah, now that you mention it, I'm wondering. Let's see, where was I? Where did I buy the magic avocado from?
Jesus.
But
Well, good luck to you all with avocados in Sweden.
yeah, maybe that's what it is. Ah, maybe it's the.
Well, where I'm going, there's two kinds of avocados, right? We have the normal avocados, the Haas avocados that you used to,
Right.
that you put in the paper bag.
Yep.
Those typically come from, I think it's Peru,
Okay.
Chile. I think it's Peru.
Yeah.
And then you have the big Florida avocados, which are like, what
like
is that?
footballs, like NFL
A
football.
yeah, like no, but slightly larger. Yeah, about an NFL football or slightly larger. Like, what is that? Bro, I have to change all of my calculations to like inches, and it's weirding me out.
That's right.
I have to go back to everything, and I'm like,
Everything- right.
I know how big
It's-
this is, and I
this
cannot tell
is-
you.
I'm thinking like what, 14, 15 inches, 15 maybe.
I have
14?
no idea. I'm like,
Okay.
it's probably about 10 deciliters.
But we'll just say pretty damn big. It is it's a damn big avocado.
Yeah.
But what's the flavor like? I've seen pictures.
Nothing.
It doesn't. Okay.
It's like if you were doing like a salad and you wanted like an avocado protein in it, or like you were
Yeah.
doing a green goddess dressing or something like that, something where other fat and flavors are going into it, you could
Okay.
use that. But like if you want like the traditional avocado, like a guacamole,
Right.
you got to use the Haas from Peru.
Okay. So the big ones are more like filler.
Yeah,
like-
kind of. I mean, they're more sustainable because they're local, but yeah, I'm like, it tastes like nothing. So what do you want me to do with that?
Oh God. I had a quick one I wanted to sneak in, and it is movie. Just really briefly.
Ooh.
Lena and I watched Thor: Love and Thunder on, I'm going to say Sunday.
Ooh,
Sunday.
theater or the home theater?
The couch theater.
Oh, love it. Love it already.
The home VIP section. Yeah.
And that's the one that really serves you dinner and a drink.
Exactly. Exactly. But you got to get it on your own. So
yeah. But you can pause the movie at the same time. So
yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Oh no. No.
I talked to a couple people, and I don't know. I'm not really. I wasn't really sold on that movie. I'm a big Marvel fan and really enjoy the movies, but this one kind of got away. So
see, I know where you're going, and I think they're losing the casual fan because I know the story to this one as well, and
Right.
I think they're going down the rabbit hole of trying to get to much bigger villains and problems so they can go back to like basic Marvel movies that anyone can watch, because they have to get rid of a couple of these players, and then it's bigger things that are going to open up for them. Because you said this about Eternals, you said this about Doctor Strange, and now with Thor, Love and Thunder.
It's because they there were some cameos, but they were really kind of weird forced cameos. It's like it felt like they stuck people in, I don't know. It would be interesting to see if anybody else has seen it to see. Let us know what you think. I was a little disappointed. So,
but honestly, Christian Bale's makeup, like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And it took. I mean, it was so wow that it took me a while as I'm watching it. I'm going, wait a minute. I know that dude from someplace. Like, was Batman. He vice president? Like, wait, was he vice president?
No. Yes, I know. Like, dude, he's going to have kidney failure, honestly, at some point in his life because of all the weight shifts that he goes through. Some of it's like plastic, like
he's going to get stuck.
Stuff that he like puts on his face, like special, like practical effects. But he honestly adds weight and drops weight. Like, it's not good.
No, not good.
But it looks amazing.
It's just like me, but it's more like putting the weight on. I haven't really, I just don't want to do anything traumatic.
Well, you're just waiting for the proper role, like the machinist to like have the excuse to drop the weight, right?
Exactly. I'm still working on my before pictures.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is.
All right, everyone, that is going to do it for this week's episode. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. It means the world to Rodney and myself to know that we have such amazing listeners out there. If you haven't already, be sure to check out our Instagram page. It's got loads of cool, fun stuff. And then you are definitely not going to want to miss the next episode, because it is the last time that I will record from Sweden an episode of Two Guys, Three Crowns.